from like the first album. The first album
Yeah,
dropped.
but you don't look that old to me.
I'm 18. So the first
So you were
album
really
dropped.
young then.
Yeah, yeah.
We are the
You were
band.
virtually zero then.
First album dropped like a day before
You were
my
born.
second. Day before my first birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That's the next record.
Yeah, so I've been growing up with Gorillaz all of my
Right,
life.
yeah, you have.
And you know, your guys' work has been really inspirational to me. I wanted to know, for you guys, was there anyone like that in your life when you were growing up at that kind of early age that really inspired you?
Well, that early on, I can't remember. I honestly can't remember.
Like maybe like when you were like 10 or maybe in your teens.
The first music that I got really inspired by actually was like old musicals,
Yeah.
like Guys and Dolls and West Side Story, and also then I discovered the music of Kurt Weill and the plays of Bertolt Brecht, and so I was really more into all of that. But to say that, I also was obsessive about Top of the Pops.
Yeah.
I even developed a kind of eating disorder because of it, because my mum, when TV was in another room and I wasn't allowed to watch Top of the Pops until I finished all my dinner, and she always, Top of the Pops was Thursday at 7 o'clock, and she always put dinner on the table at about 6:45.
Yeah.
So I learnt to eat really, really, really.
Super fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still eat super fast.
I do.
He
yeah.
does.
Yeah.
I can attest to that because I eat super slow.
Well, he doesn't. Yeah, I mean,
I don't
the
finish.
whole night can go and it doesn't look like anything's left
It's-
left the
no.
plate with him.
Yeah.
And it's very noticeable to me because I finished in the first. Well,
Yeah,
was it 10 minutes or something?
You get time to do more things then.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's. I don't. I wouldn't recommend it to everyone.
No. Enjoy the
I
food.
think. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Remy, what about you? Inspirations?
Me,
Teens?
teens.
Yeah, kind of teens, kind of maybe when you were 10.
When I was 10. Oh, okay. Well, I was fostered when I was about 10 and a half. And the first thing my foster parents gave me was a Who album or compilation. So, Boris the Spider's the first thing I listened to.
I got a Boris Spider about 13.
It's a hell of a song. It's a hell of a song. And it's just
Thunderous bass line.
yeah. If you can get your head around that, then you're sort of, you know,
You're set.
you're set. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, maybe seeing things in slightly different way. And then, yeah, to musicals. And, you know, I was a bit of a
Dancer. Studied ballet.
Did he? I
yeah,
used to do ballet.
yeah,
there you
yeah.
go.
I like to sort of Guys and Dolls and salad days. Yeah,
Radio.
yeah. Just do it. You know,
I'll tell you. I wish I. Well, we were only talking about it about 10 minutes ago, because in Paris, it was such a great gig. At one point, I kind of reverted to my 21-year-old self and the way I used to move on stage, and I didn't land very properly when I started jumping around and I've done my back in.
How
It's
long
really
were you out
depressing.
for?
No, I'm not out.
You still. Oh,
He's still-
he's still.
That was on Saturday.
I thought you meant done like you were fully out.
No, it's Saturday. I did it on Saturday
Yeah.
night, and then I got on the tour bus because we were driving back to London, and I didn't change my T-shirt, so I had my wet tour T-shirt in my bunk, having knackered my back. So I was right state when I got out.
Are you feeling all right now?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'll soldier through.
yeah.
What about current music for you guys? Is there any kind of current music releases that have happened this year that you really feel like, wow,
Well,
that was an amazing album?
We have, in one way or another, been out of the country for
Yeah.
all year, really. This is like the first time I'm talking to an audience that actually understand what I'm talking about. Literally.
Parties, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I've attempted Hungarian, Czech, speak a bit German,
Yeah, you do a bit
French, Danish, Norwegian, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You say thank you.
How does it feel being back in the UK now after this massive?
I don't know how people will react to it. I mean,
It's weird. It's its own thing, isn't it?
We're in good shape though. We're playing really, really well, and
Yeah.
it feels like the thing that we'd imagined it would be. I mean, we wanted it to have a bit of Earth, Wind and Fire about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's got dance.
That turned out to be harder than.
Yes. Yeah. It's not just the jumpsuits. We found out.
Yeah.
It's not just the. No, I think it feels like it's rounding the final straight.
It's like, but obviously it's totally different because it's like, I mean, when you get immersed in it, sometimes you're watching the screens, sometimes you're watching players on stage. I mean, it's very, it's quite trippy, to be honest.
Lots of tiny surprises.
Sometimes I'm at the front, like giving it the big kind of arena thing.
Yeah.
And I can see that everyone's looking at the screen.
Or looking at the screen through their own little screens.
Yeah.
The
there's a lot
bigger
of
the
that.
screens we put on,
Yeah.
the smaller the screens are.
Yeah.
Quite a weird.
Yeah.
it's
Do you
a
feel?
times.
Do you ever get like personally offended when like you just look down and you see everyone on their phones?
No.
Or is that?
Not at all. I get a little upset when I see people yawning.
Yeah.
But, you know, especially on a Monday night,
Yeah.
people yawn quite a lot because they've been out all weekend.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're still trying to, bless them, they're trying to kind of do it again on a Monday.
Yeah. That shows dedication then. Turning up
It
to,
does,
you know.
it does.
But I mean, who's going to miss a Gorillaz show? No one's going to miss a Gorillaz show because they had a, hard weekend out.
No.
That's not going to happen.
No.
I think if they're as young and alive as you are, they've got no excuse.
Yeah.
That's a compliment. By the way.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I want to talk a little bit about like inspiration in terms of your collaborators that you've worked with. Are there ever moments in the studio where you've got people in, you kind of got a set idea down, but then the vibe that they're bringing or whatever they're singing or playing completely changes the dynamic of the track, or do you kind of keep it quite focused in recording session?
No, I mean, it's very open. I don't have any set agenda for anyone, really.
We haven't necessarily got any expectations for them to.
And also, I'll give everyone a choice. It's not like that's the tune.
Or Get
It's
Out.
like
So they've got a range of tunes to pick
definitely,
from. Yeah.
Sometimes they pick the one that you didn't really intend for them, but it doesn't really matter, you know.
What's an example of that on this album?
On this one,
I mean, I couldn't see Ascension coming, but when it landed, it was like.
The sky's falling, baby, drop that.
well, we tried two other tunes with Vince before that, which were really good, but and then you get the dilemma of having too much stuff, and it's quite difficult sometimes to, like on We've Got the Power, there's a whole Noel chorus that he sings. It's just another melody and everything, and it just didn't feel right on the record at all. But I mean, when we play the O2, he's going to sing it. So sometimes
Amazing,
songs,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's happened a lot with a lot of songs.
Yeah.
The extra bit, like the Andromeda, is now the version on the album, and also the Dram special version,
And it's also the Czech special, so there's a sort of Marlin version.
there's a Marley.
There's a sort of
Oh,
like
right.
an Atlanta version, and there's a sort of English
Because we were speaking to Vince a couple of hours ago, and he was saying how when you first sent over the beat for Ascension, it was completely different to how it is now on the album. Are there any other examples of that in other tracks?
Most of them.
Yeah.
Most of
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Why is that? Why does it get
Well,
changed so
I mean,
drastically?
I start off with singing all of them, and then I got kind of carried away with kicking myself off tunes on this record to the point where I was like, "Hang on,
You're not on any songs.
I'm not on it anymore." Like for example, we've just done a new tune that we did in LA because I've been recording on the road.
Yeah.
And one of the great things about that is that you can kind of take the penthouse in a hotel, because I wouldn't dream of doing that normally because it's just excessive. But if you're setting up a studio, it actually works out cheaper than renting a studio.
Right.
So we had a penthouse in Hollywood overlooking downtown LA, and we did this tune which we called Hollywood, but with Jamie Principle, who just sang on the balcony and just sang out to the sunset.
Amazing.
And then,
The other thing about the penthouse is it gave everyone a viewpoint.
Yeah.
And then because we were in LA and we know a few people, we called up Snoop, and he's done a
Amazing.
So we've got a new tune with Jamie Principle and Snoop.
No, Gorillaz track.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. I always after the first Gorillaz Snoop track, I always thought there should be another one. Like Snoop is so good on that opening plastic beach track.
Fantastic. But I mean, that's why I like working in this way, you know. And it's not really. It's very laid back the way when we're not taking people because it's gonna kind of get us more profile or something.
Oh yeah.
No, but
the track tells you what it needs sometimes.
And in a way, we've been doing it for so long. You know, it's sort of, I don't know. I mean, it's like everyone does that now, don't they? You know what I mean? It's just there isn't really such a thing as music without collaborations now.
Yeah.
And honestly, before that, I could name on two hands all the collaborations that you know what I mean. It was really rare to do that.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Different from different genres. There wasn't that much genre clashing going on, you know.
Like Run DMC and Aerosmith, perfect example. You know, that kind of thing.
I wanted to talk a little bit about, you mentioned you're writing on the road at the moment. I wanted to talk a little bit about the iPad-produced album, The Fall, which you wrote while on the road for the Welcome to the World of the Plastic Beach tour. I always kind of have a thing where when I go to new places, or because I'm a producer as well, I produce music, so when I go to new places I try and produce in those places.
Yeah, it's great.
And I feel like every area has their own little vibe,
It really
has
does.
its own sound.
It really does.
When you were touring and writing that, the Fall,
Yeah.
do you feel like each of those tracks that you wrote kind of express
Completely.
accurately your feelings?
Completely. And what I did on
while
that
you were in
record,
those
what I
cities?
did on that record is I only, what you hear is what I did on that day, and I never didn't add to it after that day. So it really is like a diary.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. That's amazing. Do you feel like any current Gorillaz tracks on the album now reflect any specific place?
Well, I mean that Humans was recorded in London, New York, Jamaica, and Paris. I know that sounds, but I mean it just turned out that way because we were working with Twilight Tone, who's based in New York, and we wanted to work with Popcorn. And the only way we were going to do that is if we went to Jamaica, and also that's where we finally kind of got Grace Jones sort of in the room. So she didn't record there, but that's where we played the music.
Because sometimes it's a you have to go back to the well before you draw water, if I can use that slightly bizarre metaphor.
But it wasn't as good as the first time I went. First time I went, my daughter was like 6 months old, and it was very much a family kind of experience, and it was the studio was a lot less commercial then, and it had a hammock, and it was just a lot more laid back. I mean, this time it was much more corporate, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The whole place.
And maybe
I didn't enjoy it as
know.
much, which was a shame. And
it was a bit away. They were like,
I got an ear
you know.
infection. I went swimming the first day and I got an ear infection,
Oh, no.
so I couldn't hear anything.
Damn. Yeah.
But but what I really did get into this time was the tree frogs.
Yeah.
I really.
Oh yeah.
What are the tree frogs?
Well, they've got about 3 different kinds. Well, they've probably got loads more, but I could identify 3 different tunes, and the glowworms. So we had to walk back through the countryside to where we were staying every night up quite a steep hill, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And there'd just be there'd be so many glowworms that looked like they were fairy lights in the trees, and the sound of
Wow.
There's one on
frogs.
Busted and Blue.
Yeah,
Tree
yeah.
Frog
Yeah.
is a solo on Busted and Blue.
Yeah, yeah.
We haven't paid them for. So.
Amazing, amazing, really nice.
Obviously, other things were added to that
Yeah.
Yeah,
experience.
just come in and lay down a couple of tracks.
That was Busted and Blue from the Humans LP, followed by Amarillo by Gorillaz. You're listening to Reprezent Radio 107.3 FM with me, Static. I'm in conversation with Damon and Remy from Gorillaz. Take a listen.
Represent.
For me, I feel like Gorillaz is a really kind of genre-pushing and forward-thinking project. Was this ever your intention to expand people's minds to new genres and new music? Because for me, anyway.
Well, I think you
felt
get to a point. I think you get to a point where you slightly change your perspective, and it's not so much about what you're doing; it's what you can do. And you know, I mean, I've had so many just incredible opportunities. Like when I first got to go to Mali and. You know, spend all that time I've spent in Africa with musicians in different areas with totally different kind of, sort of sounds, and that you want to somehow, you know, it's a laugh.
Yeah.
It's a laugh making that Gorillaz records. It really is. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I can imagine. I really can.
I mean, sometimes it can be a little traumatic, like when I was in Atlanta. This time with my is it my will
My will does make
my
it.
will make it or made it. I never get.
Yeah.
My will made it. Okay, and I didn't know.
So he's a producer.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
plays his music so loud, like everything from the first thing that goes down, to everything is up.
Yeah.
Whacked right up, yeah.
And so we were recorded for a good day, and then when I got back to the hotel, I literally couldn't do anything. I just ordered some milk and a cookie. And I got into bed and I started shivering and sweating, and I couldn't sleep all night. And I swear to God, it was the frequencies.
The bass,
Yeah.
yeah.
It actually was like some sort of bass sweat lodge.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was crazy.
Have you ever experienced that before?
No.
Not experienced that, like.
No, not like that.
Yeah,
That
no,
was
I'm
a
sure
new. That's what I'm saying. It's like this is the joy of collaboration, and you know, the more you do it, the more variety, the more you learn about everything.
Definitely.
You know?
Definitely.
That's the bottom line, really.
Yeah.
Be open-minded.
I wanted to talk to you about kind of the different voice tonalities you use on different records. So, for example, one track being Soundcheck on the first LP. It's a very different voice to stuff that I would hear from your solo project or any kind of Blur album.
Yeah.
Is this you kind of embodying 2D as a character, or do you feel like it's...
Well, 2D as a character it's a setting that we've created.
Yeah.
We just press it, and then it doesn't really matter what I'm singing. It sounds like 2D.
Yeah.
It's not auto-tune.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah.
But it was an early form of synthetic voice.
Yeah. I feel like... Do you feel like... I feel when I listen to Gorillaz, it almost brings the cartoons, like, it gives them more life. I just wish we could do more and more cartoons, but to do those classic 2D drawn animations is so expensive. Yeah.
And work intensive too.
Crazy expensive, you know. It's like they don't to do them that when they're that real beautiful kind of Studio Ghibli sort of standard. You know, you can't do anything for you can't do 3 minutes unless it costs you approaching £500,000.
Yeah. Wow.
So, you know, the world's different now.
Yeah.
You can't be spending that much money. You just can't.
Yeah.
I mean, it is different. It is different. It really is different. And you know, I always get really like, oh, what's going on? It's like, it wasn't like selling records. Like, success isn't tangible anymore because I'm not on social media.
Yeah.
I was nearly accepted an iPhone. Yes,
Really?
this morning. Yeah, it was.
Someone offered you an iPhone?
Sat me down and said, "Do you really want this?" Because we've been on a bus in Europe with no Wi-Fi unless you've got 3G, and I've only got an iPad, so I haven't, and it's been really annoying.
Yeah,
I've missed out on a lot of excellent Radio 4 podcasts. And so I nearly got one, but no, I haven't got one. I've got. No, I realised I've got to stay true to myself.
Sword is stuck in the stone.
It's a 1995 Nokia.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about that album, Humans, but before we do, I want to play.
You can't take photos, though.
Before we talk a bit about the new album, I want to first play a track. What do you feel is the track on Humans that, I know it's a really hard question to answer, but the track on Humans that you feel the album almost maybe revolves around, or the one that really stands out?
I mean, for me, that would be Out of Body. It's sort of it's a sort of
that actually starts with the
dial tone.
The dial tone on my Nokia.
Oh yeah. Vince was saying how you made a beat out of a toy.
Oh, thanks very much.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's my phone.
That's your phone.
Yes.
So he was talking about your phone.
Yeah, he was talking about.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
And it's got a bit of everything, that song. It's sort of old and new and whatever. You know? And it's terribly postmodern because it is made out of 90s phone.
But at one point we had about 6 female.
We did, yeah.
Female verses from different, but in the end it was just Kilos that made the most sense. It could have gone on. This is the thing. What you actually see is such a sort of fraction of what actually goes on.
It really is the tip of the iceberg. Yeah. Because there was going to be some huge females.
But very, very, very rarely do we not somehow use something that someone's brought in. You know. But you have to make
choices.
Yeah, you have to make choices.
I observed from the Gorillaz Festival this summer, Demon Days, which I was lucky enough to get a ticket to. I must say that was one of my favourite live performances I've ever seen.
Really? Oh, we're much better now.
Really?
Oh,
yeah.
Much better, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was insane. The whole festival was absolutely amazing.
Oh, great.
And what really kind of struck me was the diversity of age and race, just massive amounts of diversity within the crowd. In your opinion, what do you think it is about Gorillaz that makes so many people connect so strongly with the project?
Well, I think it's partly that it has no sort of ethnicity because it's cartoons.
Yeah.
So that initially was, you know, I mean, it was the first time in like 10 years of living on Ladbroke Grove that, you know what I mean, people who lived on Ladbroke Grove actually knew what I was doing when I did Gorillaz, which was fantastic. But so it was a very different. But you know, those were the bands that really inspired me, like the Specials. Bands like that were really. I mean, when I saw the Specials on Top of the Pops for the first time, it was like. And then Fun Boy Free, even kind of more strange.
Because you were as you're growing up, you're always looking for symbols of what's possible. Yeah. You know, and definitely those bands were huge for us. Yeah. Because it was in cultural context that was absolutely opposite to that.
Mind you, the co-op have taken my kind of sort of my thing to an extreme this year because they've done a version of Tender for their Christmas advert, but they put it together. They've got. It starts with a sitar player, then it goes to a steel pan band, and then it goes to a collier band, then it goes to some women in old people's home, and then it goes to a primary school, and then I think it goes to a. It's funny.
It must end up in a close-up of a turkey. It must.
So
It's got to.
I do apologise for that in advance. No, it's sweet. I mean, it's a co-op as well. Share, but it's an employee. It's cooperative. It's a cooperative.
Yeah.
So you know.
Oh yeah.
That's how I'm justifying it. Anyway, this Christmas.
What do you feel like?
Right. So it's an instruction. You're saying, be cooperative. Yeah, that's good.
Well, now we're living in very. I mean, it's quite extraordinary being in Europe and seeing it from their perspective of the debacle of our Brexit. I mean, I actually went as far in Brussels as apologising on stage for
our
I was
behaviour.
like, and I was like going, I'm sorry about them. They're.
How did they respond to that? Were they?
Oh, well,
were they like?
they obviously appreciated
Yeah,
it because they all think we've gone.
Yeah, they do think we've gone.
They think we've all gone
rightly
mad,
so.
and we have gone mad.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's just. I feel sorry, like young people, like my daughter who was just too young to vote.
Yeah.
I think that's terrible that people over 70 were deciding the fate.
Yeah.
of people.
People that are 17.
17.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think you've probably worked hard, but in terms of the breadth.
No, but the irony of all
people.
of that, in relation to humans, is that we were just obsessed with the idea of Trump winning.
Yeah.
I know. I heard this.
We
This was your
that was
your
one of
album
the first
theme.
things
Yeah.
We're like, he's
talked
gonna
about.
win.
Like in January
going
of
to
that
win.
year, it's like, let's set the scenario. Just imagine if Trump wins, and that was how we brought everyone in onto the record. It's like, sing about how you might feel if that happens. Don't be explicit about it. I mean, anytime anyone mentioned Trump or Obama, I just beep on it, just because it didn't need to be said.
Yeah.
But
It's
we
like
totally
underlined.
the point is we totally missed Brexit. We were just so obsessed with that.
Yeah.
We didn't even see, our own lunacy.
Well, no, because by November
It's like
the
when
world
it
was so
happened that
surreal.
Friday, I was like, what do you mean? We live in the EU.
The day that it happened, we were doing Africa Express. On, do you remember? In
that
Glastonbury.
was tragic because we flew in from
So depressing.
we flew in from Denmark, didn't we?
Yeah.
We flew in from Denmark with 50 Syrians that we got back together because I worked with the Syrian National Orchestra in Damascus on Plastic Beach before the war, and we did this incredible concert in the old city in Damascus 6 months before it all kicked off. And so I just wanted to somehow find out what happened to everyone. So we got the orchestra back together, and we literally landed. And like the next, they were so excited to be in England playing Glastonbury. And the next morning, everyone was in tears, literally. And they were, "What are you all crying about?" And I felt a little bit. It's like it's not a bigger deal.
It's not as bad as
anywhere
Syria,
near
but
what they've been through. But at the same time, I was trying to explain to them it's not great.
Also, as an illustration of a cohesive society, to be on the day that society was busting apart. It was just oh right, so you really got it sorted, you guys. Do you know what I mean? So it was sad for that, really.
Definitely. Yeah.